There is a place you need to go to mentally to compete that is far beyond comfort zone. So you're really pushing yourself way past your comfort zone. I know whenever I've done competitions and you do what it takes to achieve the conditioning you need to hit for the contest and do it, you know, X, Y, and Z, and you hit everything, it's so empowering to know that you accomplished it, because it's really hard. I don't think people understand actually how much work it is, how much dedication it takes to compete and prep for contests. It takes another level of mental fortitude to get through a contest prep day of the contest. You really need to be willing to take yourself to a place you've never been before. I think the idea of competing and getting back on stage for me really started in January, where I was like, all right, this is the year I'm gonna do it. I turned 40 in April, and I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity. I can now do masters category, so 40 and up, and also the open as well. For me, it was like a pulse check, really. It's like where I'm at currently. This by no means was a contest where I was like, oh, I'm gonna nail my all-time best look. I got my pro card 4 years prior. I haven't competed yet, so this was my pro debut. And I knew that, you know, this was gonna be a real balance of, okay, we're gonna try to balance making sure I have enough size, conditioning, and shape, and then build upon this for the next contest. So the weight cap for this competition, based upon my height, was 212 pounds. When I got my pro card 4 years ago, it was 197. And they do a difference of 10 pounds from amateur to pro, and last year they increased the weight cap 5 additional pounds. So it's now 15 pounds above what my amateur weight was. But that additional 5 pounds they added, it makes a big difference. I think a lot of people don't recognize what 5 pounds of quality muscle on a physique looks like. And that's where the work lies, is now that I can gain more muscle in the off season to prepare for the next contest and come in even heavier, more balance, more symmetry, obviously more muscle. So the goal for the contest was to take top 5 in the open category. I got 5th place. I was thrilled with that. I mean, that's a real indicator of where I'm at, the quality of the physique I brought, and I also got 2nd place in the masters category. The gentleman who beat me in the masters category took 3rd place in the open, so he was tough competition. I'm always consistent with training, I'm consistent with my diet, but there's another level when you're prepping for a contest where you need to bring your body fat percentage down below 5%. Your body doesn't want to be below 5% body fat, so you're tapping into fat stores. Particularly, I hadn't competed in 4 years, so I'm tapping into fat stores that have probably been there for four years since my previous contest. So now moving forward, you've gotten to the point where you've stripped down those deep layers of fat. So now when I compete moving forward, it's easier to get into shape. My body fat percentage won't get as high in between competitions where I need to strip down as much. Even though I try to stay fairly tight in my off-season regular life, there's definitely another level. But what I'm doing within my program now is I'm actually intentionally trying to rebound and gain some weight and gain some muscle. Your body's in a really depleted state, so now is a good opportunity to feed it, give it food, not crap food, give it quality food, get back into training regularly and try to actually gain some muscle on the back end of the contest. My body wasn't super beat up from the contest prep. Little things here and there, of course, always pop up. Elbows are bothering me a little bit towards the end, lower back maybe here and there. The one challenge with the contest prep is, and I feel like I've mentioned this before, is you're prepping for a contest. You don't actually know what you're going to look like on stage because you can't replicate the stage lights. You're looking in different mirrors every day, different lights, so it's actually really hard to gauge where your physique is at. It's a little bit of a challenge, and then you see the stage photos and you're like, oh, okay, that's what I look like. So you kind of use all the feedback you got up to it. Hopefully you can find some decent light that replicates what you're going to look like on stage and how your conditioning is coming along. And then the stage photos kind of really cement like, okay, this is how I looked on stage, and these are really the areas that I need to work on to improve and balance out symmetry. I think the one thing within the experience too, which a lot of people don't recognize, is you're practicing your posing all the time and you're looking in a mirror. And when you're on stage, there's no mirror. So there's a different experience when you're practicing your posing, looking in a mirror, seeing how you look versus on stage when you're posing to an audience. You really have to be aware of all of your muscles, how they feel, how they contract in certain poses, and that positioning when you're on stage. I know for me personally, you know, the shoulder surgeries that I had back in 2016, 2017 and 2018, I mean, they've drastically changed how I can train. So my upper body gaining back the size that I once had when I competed, back in 2014 on the national level as a heavyweight, trying to get back to that size I was there has been a bit of a challenge. So I know that the upper body needs more development. I need to bring up my back and other areas of the upper body, but it's everything I basically knew kind of coming in, and then you get basically like verification of it all when you see it on stage. One of the most important aspects of contest prep is how well you can manage stress so that your body gets into that peak shape as easy as possible. It's not fighting you getting into it, because once your stress levels are too high, your cortisol's too high, you're not going to be getting lean. Your body's going to fight you getting lean and getting down to that level of conditioning you need to get. So anyone who's trying to gain muscle, I mean, rest is paramount, keeping your stress low is paramount. So just having the regimented, like I have a set time where I go to bed every night, I have a set time where I wake up every morning. So just keeping all of those variables the same, so okay, you're getting the proper rest to recover properly. You're hitting your meals, your nutrition. You're trying to limit stress and negativity in your life. All those things are super important. For me, looking in this as I'm now getting back into competing and plan to compete more, is that just embracing the journey. It's actually about the journey of the contest prep, who is there supporting you. It was such a rewarding experience for me when I got 5th place, to see Danny in the audience, so excited, to see my friend, my training partner, Ferland, in the audience, so excited. It's just about the journey. The competition is the goal. It's like the bow on the present, but just really trying to enjoy the process of the prep itself. Because the reality is, when you're competing, you're spending more time prepping than you are actually competing. The competition's a day or two. So just really wanted to get to a space where I could enjoy the prep, also enjoy the work, and enjoy I love the process, the artistic process of building and sculpting the physique. So to be able to be present in that and enjoy it all the way through was very rewarding. You have such a massive team of people helping you get to the stage. It's like, I can't take all the credit. It wasn't just me. The support of my wife, Danny, was massive. She was the one back in 2010 who really gave me the push I needed to say, I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna try to get my pro card. I'm gonna make this a career. She was really the one who instilled the confidence in me that I could do it. And sometimes you need someone in your corner like that, who just gives you that extra little bit of push, motivation, saying, no, you can do this. You're meant to do this. And then obviously your prep coaches, Hani Rambod was, massive help during this prep for me. And then you have your massage therapist, your training partners, your family that's calling, checking up on you, supporting. It's really like a singular sport that's a team sport. I'm gonna try to gain as much muscle as possible during this off season. That's gonna allow me then to diet down even further, so I can actually bring better conditioning for this next contest. So that's a little bit of an advantage. It's almost like you have additional muscle, and then we can actually deplete down even more and get even more conditioned with the additional size. And then, just working on the balance and the symmetry. They say the back wins the show, so just continually working on improving my back, improving the shoulders, the arms, getting more leg sweep, just a little fine tuning here and there. But I would say back is the top priority this off season. Within that, focusing on all the techniques I do, where I squeeze and hold those peak contractions, and focusing on the negatives to just etch in detail into the back as well. I think that's the whole key here, is that you say, okay, I did X, Y, and Z leading up to this, and it yielded this result. So now what do I need to change? I'm not going to keep doing what I was doing. I need to change and evolve that. So I look at the entire picture, even on the nutrition side too. This contest prep, I went to 6 whole food meals and 1 shake a day, and it was a lot of protein. I mean, more protein than I've had in ages. Probably close to 450 grams of protein a day, somewhere in that ballpark space. So recognizing, and I was eating every 2 hours, my body was processing the protein. So recognizing my body actually does better on very high protein without any adverse side effects. So knowing I can push the protein portions a little bit higher than I was doing last year to focus on trying to gain muscle, and then obviously going into the prep. The changes for the off-season phase, I'll go back to a 5-day week training split. I'll probably run 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. Focusing on keeping the cardio in regularly, like I said, so we're making sure I'm managing my body fat percentage so that when I get into prep, it's not as much that I need to lose. And then on the nutrition side, scaled it back to 5 whole food meals and 1 shake a day. And then getting pretty high on the carbs, 450, 500 grams of carbs a day. We'll see how long that I'll keep it there, and then it's just going to be tweaking and fine-tuning as we see the progress coming along. I couldn't have asked for a better pro debut. I think it's a great launching off point for me now to get into this off season, work on the areas I need to work on to bring back a physique that's even better, improved for this next contest. The goal for me is to make it to the Masters Mr. Olympia in August in Tokyo. I do need to qualify. I was 1 spot away at this contest. We'll make the needed improvements, and I'm going to aim to compete probably middle of the summer to qualify for the Masters Olympia in Tokyo.